What's up, you guys? Happy Saturday. Saturday morning, right? Still morning. It's 10:20 here in Dallas. So we are getting an early start on this live today. We are talking gut health and your fat loss goals. The importance of your gut and how it plays a role in your fat loss success. How it can help you and how it can hinder your progress. It's very, very important, not just for fat loss, but like overall health, right? Longevity in our life. We want to have a healthy gut. We don't want to be dealing with a gut imbalance for the rest of our lives. And I am by no means a gut expert, as in I can't diagnose you if you have some type of serious gut health issue. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. Certainly not a functional medicine guru. But I will say that I have had clients come to me in the past who have been diagnosed with specific gut health problems, gut health imbalances by a doctor. And over time, prioritizing certain things, they've been able to work these issues out just by focusing on their nutrition and the proper nutrition. You guys, I'm going live both on Instagram and Facebook, and I never know which one to look at. So if you see my eyes going left and right, that's what's going down. I'm trying this multi-live situation here for the last couple of weeks. Seems to be working well, but we'll see what happens. And also, if anybody knows how to get cactus needles out of your thumbs, out of your body, please let me know, because I've been dealing with this sucker for 2 weeks now, and it will not come out. I've been planting cactuses lately for our new apartment, and I got stuck by one, and it is painful as all get up, and it just will not let up. So if you have any, tips or tricks on that for me, send them my way, will you please? I really appreciate it. Anyways, let's talk gut health. Are you ready? Who's ready? Why is your gut health so important when it comes to fat loss? What is the role that it plays in our body when it comes to fat loss? How can this hold us back? It's your gut's job to digest your food, all right? It's your gut's job to absorb the nutrients from your food. That will only happen when it gets digested, okay? It converts our food into energy for us through that digestion process. So if we're not digesting food, if we're not able to digest our food, we're not able to process it into energy or adequate amounts of energy, all the energy that we need, and we're certainly not able to absorb those nutrients. So it doesn't matter if you're eating right. It doesn't matter if you've got the perfect macros. It doesn't matter if you're in a deficit of calories. If your body is not absorbing those nutrients, if your body is not turning it into energy, it's not going to be able to burn calories. It's just not going to be working. You're hitting that wall. So that's why it's so unbelievably important. That has to be in place in order for the fat loss process to work properly, or muscle building process to work properly, for that matter, right? Because it's this specific nutrition and these specific macros that we're following, trying to achieve this specific outcome, and that's just not going to happen, right? Did you know that there are more microorganisms in your gut than there are cells in your body? So you're basically a bacteria. You're more of a bacteria than you're a human at this point. How crazy is that? And your gut microbiome is unique to you and no one else, okay? So if you're having gut issues, what works for someone else, like Susan at the office, what helps her What ironed out her issues is not necessarily going to help you, because your gut and the bacteria in your gut and your gut microbiome are unique to you and no one else. Like, just because you're having gut problems, like, what does that mean? There are so many specific types of gut problems. If you say I'm having a gut problem and Susan at the office having a gut problem, y'all could be having completely different gut problems caused by completely different situations or circumstances. All right? And just like going and buying a probiotic at the store is not a general Band-Aid for everything, okay? We'll get into that later. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. So how someone takes care of their gut won't help you if you are experiencing GI problems, all right? So why is your gut important? Well, it influences your immunity, which we all need right now. I've got a bit of the case of the sniffles this week. It affects your ability to lose fat, burn calories, and lose fat. It affects your body's ability to detoxify itself, naturally detoxify, which it's very, very good at. And it determines whether or not you have specific food sensitivities. And then this one, the big one, the muy importante in my opinion, is it affects your mental health because of this thing called the gut-brain axis, all right? Did y'all know that 90 to 95% of your serotonin is produced in your gut? Feel good chemical, feel good hormone. 50% of dopamine is produced in your gut. 80% of your immune cells live in your gut. That is why your gut is so unbelievably important, not just to fat loss, but overall health as well. Longevity, all right? If your gut is imbalanced, it can affect your metabolism, all right? So if you're here putting in all this work, time, and effort, and sometimes even money to work on your metabolism, heal your metabolism, speed up your metabolism, that's what we all want, right? It starts in the gut. It's your motherboard to everything. All right. If it's decreasing your body's ability to absorb the nutrition from your food, it's not going to be able to process your food and burn those calories. So if it can't do these things, then you can't increase your metabolism. Right? Let's talk about this term bloat here, you guys, and I'm sure you've all heard me talk about this a time or two. Bloat, I feel bloated. I'm bloated today. I woke up bloated. It's just like this blanket term that we've all started to use. But what does that really mean? Like, bloat is a real thing. It's an actual issue. It means something very specific, but we just throw it around to mean like, I feel big, I feel large, I'm full. Typically, I'd say, 80% of the time when we use the word bloat, we're just full. We just had a meal. Like, we're just nourished. We're just feeling full. And we've associated that with something bad. And I see this happen so often in women who have been undereating for so long. Just chronic undereaters. So they don't even know what it feels like anymore to be full, to have a full stomach, to feel nourished, to nourish their body, to eat enough, to eat the appropriate amounts of food. They don't know what that feels like anymore. They've lost that sensation. And so now it freaks them out. So now just having a full meal, having an appropriate sized meal, suddenly they're bloated. This isn't good. This is wrong. This is bad. This means something's wrong. I've overeaten, or I have a gut issue. I'm feeling bloated. No, not really. Not all the time, but a lot of the time I see it. It's very, very common. So we've learned this fear. We've been conditioned to fear that feeling, and it's such a normal, natural feeling. We should all be feeling that every day because our body deserves to be nourished. All right. I mean, I've been there. I've had that fear. I've had that massive fear in me before. I know what that's like. And I'm not here to just be like, y'all are ridiculous, because I've been there. I've been that person that I'm talking about here. In the throes of my eating disorder, years and years and years of undereating, the disordered habits, disordered behaviors. Suddenly, I'd have a normal meal and I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't have that food in my body, that normal, appropriate amount of food. Because to me, that meant that feeling, that physical feeling of it was like, oh, this is too much. I'm supposed to be feeling empty. I'm supposed to be feeling nothing. I'm supposed to be hungry all the time. I just got so used to it, Even gas. Y'all, gas is very normal. Did you know that the average female passes gas? Farts. Let's just say it. We fart on average 15 times a day. Whether you know it or not, whether you know you're doing it or not. On average, about 15 times a day. Yep. How does that make you feel? It's so, that's just normal. That's how the body works. We can't avoid it. I'm sorry. It's just like Beyonce poops, Beyonce farts on average 15 times a day. It's just part of being human. Welcome to being human, you guys. And it's because of these fears of being full, that physical feeling of having food in your stomach, these fears of being bloated. I use air quotes for that. These fears of feeling bloated, these fears of being gassy, like it's a bad thing, like these natural human occurrences are bad and negative and means that something's wrong. And these fears of these things push us to undereat, to restrict, to eat less than we should be, right? But that's what causes the problem in the first place. It's this vicious cycle, okay? Because I posed this question in the Facebook group this week, you guys. Can we actually create a food sensitivity in our bodies that wasn't there before? Hell yes, we can. By restricting. By purposefully restricting whole food groups, certain foods, suddenly our body stops producing the necessary, enzymes, bacteria to process and digest those foods because we're not eating them anymore. We don't need it. So then one random day we go out to eat, like tomorrow. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. We have reservations at some nice restaurant. But we haven't had dairy in 6 months. And then we eat dessert with some, I don't know what it is, maybe like a lava cake a la mode with some ice cream on the side. And suddenly it's the worst night of our lives. So you think, oh, I'm, dairy intolerant. I'm allergic. Well, no, you just created that problem for yourself. And that happens a lot. And sometimes it's not even like a physical reaction. Sometimes it's just mental. Like this nocebo effect. We eat something and suddenly like all hell breaks loose up here in our minds. And we're just like, oh my God. Like I've done something horrible. Like, we're on pins and needles, like waiting for this pain or bloat or gas to happen. And we we just think it's happening. We just think we're having this reaction when we're not. That is also a very real thing. So yes, you can absolutely 100% create problems for yourself that weren't there originally, because your body can no longer handle these foods that you've restricted for so long. Okay? You guys, there's this really cool study done on mice, of course, always. It's usually done on mice, these poor mice, on a group of obese, overweight, very heavy mice and lean mice. Hey, Jen, what's up, girl? So there's this study done on lean mice and obese mice and their gut microbiome, the bacteria in their bodies, okay? And what they did, these scientists took their gut bacteria and they switched them. And suddenly the obese mice started losing weight. Suddenly the lean mice started putting on weight and gaining weight because their body could no longer process and digest and burn those calories anymore. How crazy is that? What does that mean for us? What does that translate into for our fat loss purposes? That means that if you're not taking care of your gut, if your gut is not healthy enough, it's not going to burn calories. It's not going to burn fat, the fat that you want, the body fat that we're all here to burn, right? It starts in the gut. And it's our gut can affect our ability to lose weight and to gain weight. Mind blown, right, you guys? And it's not necessarily about getting rid of bad bacteria. There's good and bad bacteria in our gut, and there always will be. It will always be there. It's not about getting rid of it or killing it, right? It's about having a healthy ratio. Everything in our body is there for a reason. It's all needed. It's about having the best ratio, the healthiest ratio possible. So what is that ratio? I mean, we don't really necessarily know exactly, but the best thing that you can do for yourself is have a healthy variety, a large variety of all bacterias, okay? Diverse microbiome. How does that happen? We eat all foods. We don't restrict anything. We eat all foods. All foods are good foods. All foods are necessary. All foods are gonna give us something different that we need. Another reason for ending the restriction, right? This is awesome. I love this topic. The gut-brain axis. Who here has heard of this? Raise your hand, like we're in class. Give me a thumbs up or comment down below if you have heard of the gut-brain axis. Basically, our GI system has its own nervous system. It's crazy, right? It's known as the second brain. It's called the ENS for short, or our second brain. How insane is that? All right, so our gut health has been linked to our mental health. This is fact. This is science, you guys. Like, it's not maybe. This is truth. Hear me now, okay? So what you're feeding your body, you're also feeding your mind. You're also feeding your brain. Because of what I said earlier, like 90 to 95% of our body's serotonin is found in our gut and produced in our gut. All right, so if you have poor gut health, it's been linked to mental health issues as well. It's been linked to depression, anxiety, I mean, you name it. So much more. This is a topic I teach in Never Diet Again. We go deep into the gut-brain axis and all of the things that your nutrition, how it can affect your mental health, all of the things it's been linked to, and what those things, like what nutrients those are linked to, nutrient deficiencies. Specific nutrient deficiencies will cause certain things. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love that topic, the gut-brain axis. Just because like mental health is a big part of my life. I talk about it all the time, you guys know. And food. Food is also a big part of my life. So I love anything that links the two together. So what you feed your body, you're also feeding your mind, your brain, your mental health. Keep that in mind. All right. Wow, that's it. That's all I got, you guys. So just quick little tidbits there about gut health and our fat loss and other things other than fat loss, mental health, just general health, longevity, why our gut is so unbelievably important in our fat loss goals, how it can affect us in good ways and bad ways. Tomorrow I'll be hopping on here and teaching you guys how to improve your gut health. My best tips and tricks that I give all of my clients, how to have the healthiest gut possible while going through your fat loss journey. So you can see all of the success in the world. So you guys be sure to tune in for that tomorrow. If y'all have any questions, gut questions, drop them down below for me. I'll be sure to answer them tomorrow. And I'll see you guys there. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thanks for tuning in.